Leek Town Television brings you to Leek Town, more importantly, the boardroom. Strict dress code. Hopefully we'll be alright with that because no one's around. Let's go and meet the chairman of Leek Town Football Club. Mr. Chairman.
James, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking time out to speak to us. Thanks to the brew. Have you got us there, Owen? Is that?
What's that, mate?
Have you got us in?
Yeah, I've got you there.
Well, I'll start right at the beginning. Why Leek Town Football Club? Why are you at Leek Town?
Family.
Family. Tell us more.
My granddad, Wain, was one of the first ever groundsmen. My nan Winnie, up to about 10 years ago, and she sadly passed away, had been probably missed about 10 matches in her life. And I've just followed her around everywhere really, she'll like to answer to.
Right, so do you live in Leek? Do you live local or?
No, I live in Newcastle.
Live in Newcastle. Okay, so when did you sort of arrive at the club? What was the, you're obviously chairman now. When did that start?
I started chairman 5 years ago, but probably back in early 90s, I came as a steward. Very quickly took over from Mark Eden, to be the chief steward and safety officer, director, and then 5 years ago took over as chairman. I've been a director since 1998, I think it was.
I have to keep looking at my questions because I'm not that good at this. Okay, we might as well go straight into the football side of things. This season the team's doing well.
Yep.
How satisfied are you with how the team are performing, and how satisfied are you with the current management at the club, football wise?
The team, I think, are fantastic. They're a great bunch of lads. They play for each other, there's no individuals. They want to go out there and they want to do well for the club, and I think the results have shown that. I think we've lost about 6 games all season, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're playing good football, in my opinion. They're playing good football, better football.
Good football. It's a pleasure to watch, and I think even when you go out and lose, I think take the mickle over away game. But when we have lost games, we can actually come away and think, well, we've played well. We've played good football. Management, well, you won't get better around here, I think, than Kazza and Beebs. And Wardy when he was here. Not taking anything away from Wardy. But Kazza, he's dedicated. He's not just on the pitch, he's off the pitch as well, doing bits, doing a lot actually, and he's a good inspirational person really. He's keen, and
you've got a good setup, a good management behind there.
Without a doubt.
How often do you speak with the manager? Do you speak regular?
Yes, all bar a Sunday. We tend to leave each other alone on a Sunday purely because you need a bit of family time, unless there's something urgent, pressing. But I spoke to him yesterday and we had a chat about Saturday. I haven't spoken to him today because I've been a bit too busy, but we've got a match tonight. I'll probably speak to him after this just to wish him luck, and I'm not there tonight. Then we'll move on to Saturday and we'll have a chat about Saturday, and generally every day.
Do you ever? I mean, you often hear about some chairmen, they meddle in sort of team affairs, football affair. I don't know, whether that's the case at this level, but do you ever offer input in terms of how the team are playing or how you might want them to play?
No, I don't. Football, in my opinion, is based on opinions, and everybody's got an opinion, whether they like it or not. Now, the managers live or die by results, and they've got to pick the team, they've got to pick the formation, and if they get heavy defeat, they've got to take it on their shoulders. I'll speak after and say, well, I think it should have been done this way or that way, but that's just my opinion. That's not criticising the manager, because if I wanted to be the manager's side, I would be the manager's side. I'm not the chairman, and we employ people to do the managing side, so they've got to get on with it.
I guess hypothetically, if from the football side of things, say we went on a terrible run, a long run, I suppose it's, if that was to happen, would you be one of these, would you be ruthless enough to make changes obviously none of us want that to happen, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but I guess as a chairman you've got, occasionally might have big decisions to make, so, hypothetically if they were on a...
Yeah, it depends on what stage of the season we're at. If we're at a very crucial stage of the season, i.e. the 6-8 weeks into the season, which I class as quite a crucial time of the season, because that will map the rest of the, whether you're pushing for promotion by Christmas, whether you've got to put extra input in. And if we aren't getting results then, you sit down and think, well, is it time for a change? But then you've got to look at the other side of the coin. Could anybody come in
do a better job
and do a better job with the resources that we've got? So it's not a case of getting rid of him because of poor results. It's a case of what have we got to offer a new manager if that's what we choose to go.
In terms of the current squad, Leek Town are going to have a lot of fixtures because games have been missed due to the weather. Obviously they've had cup runs as well. Do you think the squad's big enough to cope?
Oh, that's a good question. The squad is good enough to cope. Whether the squad is big enough to cope with the state of the pitches, pulls, little niggles, players are going to miss a match or two, I don't know, and that's something in the next week I've said to Lee we'll address, and we'll try and sit down and sort out what sort of player we can bring in, if there is any out there that's going to benefit our team. That's the other question, bringing a player in that's going to benefit our team. We'll see.
And a general question is, running a football club like this, you've got all kinds of costs. How much does it cost, just a kind of to run a football club like this?
What, taking in wages as well?
Yeah, taking it, all your sort of outgoings. I mean, I'm thinking about making the club obviously you need to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And is the club self-sufficient?
No, the club is far from self-sufficient. Although saying that, it's become more viable, if you like, this last 2 or 3 years since we've got rid of a fair amount of debt between us. A ballpark figure off the top of my head, you're probably looking at about 120,000 to run this club over a season. And when you take a season 1st of July to the 1st of July sort of thing, that's what I class a season. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna take about 120,000.
So it's quite a big. It's obviously quite a lot, that. In terms of players' wages, I mean, I know this is sensitive and you can't tell us certain information, but at this level of football, what kind of money is getting paid to players? Certainly look at other clubs in the league. What are you competing against, and do you pay? I can't ask you, but exact way.
I know what you're saying. We are paying on a par probably with the teams that are competing at the top of the league. That's the best way to put it. We certainly don't pay bad wages. I'm not sure if we pay the top wages. I think then you consider the squad as a local squad and they all want to play together, which is a big benefit to the club. But we aren't bad players, and I think we compete with the top teams in the league. Okay.
In terms of trying to get promotion, I was speaking to someone on Saturday that suggested, and it seemed a bit of an odd suggestion, that the club don't want to get promoted because of costs that might be involved. Now I don't know if there's any extra costs in terms of promotion, but if someone was to say, how would you answer someone that says this club doesn't want to get promoted? Because I didn't really understand where he was coming from.
No, that's totally wrong. I mean, there's not anybody that sits around this table on the board meeting, and certainly not the managers, the management side of things, who don't want this club promoted. I think what we've done over the past 3 or 4 years has probably proved that we do want to get promoted, if anything, being in the playoff final, being in the playoffs last year, albeit we lost to Belper, which is a lottery at the end of the day. It's a 1-game shootout. So I can't see where somebody's coming from to say we don't want to get promoted. What we've got to do, I mean, I'll be the first person to throw everything at it, but we can't afford to do that because we've got to pick up the pieces at the end of the season and go for next season. So we're trying our best. We've certainly given the management team a good budget to get promoted, and as terms of if we got promoted, I think this place doesn't take any more to run, whether it's this season, next season, in the next league up, and the next league up after that. The players' wages do slightly go up probably, but so do gates, because you get a better away following and things like that, so you could probably add an extra £100–200 on top of the budget based on the fact that you're going to get an extra revenue through the turnstile because we bring more fans with them.
In terms of gates, I was going to mention that, what do you think could be done to get more people through the turnstiles? I mean, I know it's very difficult, and I guess that's something you're always looking at.
We do look at that, and you know, people have suggested things. I've seen on the forum that people have suggested things. People pay for season tickets as well, and people have paid at the start of the season, whatever it was, 120 quid was it? So if you're giving people free admission, what are you giving the season ticket holders who have been loyal and paid up front? Incentives to get in, come and speak to me. I'm open to it. You know, sensible suggestions will always get listened to. It's not a closed shop by any stretch of the imagination. It's your club, it's a supporters club at the end of the day, and that's what we want to emphasise more than anything.
Okay, a little bit more light-hearted here. Do you support any other football clubs? I obviously support Stoke City, as you know.
I know. There's a doctor in the medical room if you want to see him.
And what about yourself? Any allegiances?
Man United. I knew you'd like that one. No. I like all local teams, in all fairness. I want all local football to do well. But no, I haven't had time to support anybody else, to be fair. I spend all my time up here, what spare time I do get.
Leek Town under 8s. I'm the manager.
I know.
We wear red and white stripes. What's your view on that?
There's a board meeting Thursday which you might be requested to come into. Are you talking about sacking managers? That's up to you. I mean, all I want to do is see the kids smile on the faces.
We have actually got we won a kit through McDonald's which is blue. I'm under pressure to use that next season, so it might be, that might be a change. The FA Cup run, are you able to tell me how much the club made in prize money? Because obviously we got to the 4th qualifying round against Blythe. We
made probably in the region of, I think it was 18,000. That's nothing compared to Norton.
It's not bad though.
We made 79,000, I think it was.
You were...
we were close.
Very close, very close. Potential money spinner, yeah. But, you know, I guess...
That's not taking anything away from our lads. Our lads battled well. Well, they have done in every game. You know, we came up to stiffer opposition, teams in a higher league than us, and we more than matched them, in my opinion. And I think that's great credit to our lads. Absolutely.
You know, we echo that, don't we, Rich? That
we do,
good.
yes.
Wonderful. Another light-hearted question, very topical in the news at the moment. Ched Evans.
Yeah.
If he said, "I'll play for Leek Town for free," would you have him? No. No. Even though he's a Welsh international, a former Welsh international, played at it.
I don't think I would. I think we've got to set examples to our kids.
Like this.
No, we have at the end of the day. We've got to set examples, and we've got to be careful what we do. You know, we want to play by the rules, and he hasn't played by the rules. He might have served his time. He might have done all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, if we've got an option to sign him, I wouldn't want to sign him.
I agree with that, for what it's worth. Okay. And this is the final light-hearted question. Do you think England can ever win the World Cup in our lifetime?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
The infrastructure's wrong. You've got too many of the so-called 20 big clubs, i.e. the Premier League, that bring in too many foreign youngsters and bring them through their academies, because they're poaching kids from all over the world, bringing them in at the age of 12, 13, 14, giving them education across here and bringing them through their ranks, and they think they're homegrown players. Yet our kids that are still at school, at home, not having the right sort of coaching, in my opinion. And I've seen it happen. You know, I've been to clubs, I've been to Premier League clubs, and I've seen all that happen. It's just not, it's not good for English football, or English talent, if you like. So,
The answer's no.
answer's no.
Emphatically. The junior section here, if you can just touch upon that. I understand there's 20, is it 20 teams?
Yes, yeah.
That's grown an awful lot in, you know, the last 2-3 years, let alone...
I'd just like to say something on that, and I think there's a few thank yous more than anything else. 5 years ago we didn't have any of this, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet by saying this, because when I came in as a chairman, this is what I wanted to set up. I couldn't do it.
Why?
Because it was too much work for me to do, and I was lucky I got Dennis Bates, who really pushed this side of things with Tracy, and Andy Taylor. When he was playing for us, he guided us in the right direction. So he worked for the Shropshire FA at the time, and I said to Dennis, we need to creep and go, but you need to take it on as your domain. And he more than did that, and I think he's got to take a lot of credit for this. And what we've got now is absolutely fantastic. I mean, to go out there on a Sunday and see so many kids with smiles on their faces wanting to play football, all wearing a Leek Town crest, I think that's something special for me. And when you see them up round the town with all the hoodies on and all that sort of stuff, again, you know, it's brilliant for the club. We never had that 5 years ago.
No, absolutely, and I'm, you know, obviously involved, and it's good to see. I've seen you come along and watch us play, and I think that's good as well, that people from the club, you know, can see that you're showing an interest. I think it's been brilliant. It's really come on.
But there's also 3 or 4 girls' sides as well now. There's a girls' section in the club, there's a disabled section of the club, there's the creche, there's an academy side where it's full-time education and playing. They're now based at Northwood. They'll soon be here next season. There's an elite side. You know, it's just grown and grown and grown. It's massive now.
It's brilliant. Just a couple more, and then I'll leave you in peace. If we fail to get promotion this season, would you have to consider cutting the wage bill next season?
No, don't think so. That's something we have to sit down at the end of the season and discuss as soon as the season's finished, as to where we are. We'll have 2 or 3 plans in place, probably next month. But I can't see why we haven't done it this year. We didn't get promoted last year. In fact, we've probably slightly enhanced the budget from last year. But we'll have to see and sit down and see what money's coming in.
What do you do for a living? What's your occupation?
I deliver animal feeds.
Right, I've asked you that before,
Yeah.
but I've forgotten. So, to be a chairman of a club like this, do you have to invest a lot of your own?
You can do.
Do you? I mean, that's a sensitive question. You don't have to answer that. You know.
I'd rather not answer that if that's alright. My money's my money, and I'll do what I need to do with it. If it's bought in this place, that's what I'll do, but I don't want any praise or anything like that. I'm here for a reason, and the reason is to try and do the best for Leek Town.
Okay, one more question. If you had unlimited funds and you could buy any player in the world, who would you like to buy? I would like Ronaldo.
You're actually saying who do I think the best player is?
Who do? Yeah, go for it.
I think Messi.
Ronaldo or Messi, it's got to be. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay, it's a wrap.
Signing off.
I'm signing off.